Hey folks, Lindsey Huddleston back at it again. SPS in the building, another SPS mental health moment. Had to go a little further up north to go get with my guy, Saginaw Bearcat Country. My guy, Coach Kevin Marshall, representing. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. And yourself, my brother?
I'm good, man. You know, I've been making my rounds and getting with people, and I just knew I had to make my way and connect with you. I want to thank you for welcoming me into the Bearcat family some time ago. It's always great to come down there and be in the midst. Shout out to Lance Monroe Jr. He was my sidekick at the time. We came down there to represent. But, Coach, I just really want to get with you for this SPS mental health moment, just to get your thoughts and feedback about, you know, what's going on right now with this COVID-19, what kind of positive messages we can send to the young people who I know want to get back at their sports, but just the community as a whole, because I recognize you as not just a great coach in football and basketball, but a pillar in your community and a voice that's respected. So just want to get your feedback, get your thoughts about how we can kind of be part of the solution to what's going on.
All right.
All right, I lost you for a second, but go ahead.
Okay, my biggest thing is, that I want a lot of our youth to understand and know, as well as our adults, is that, even through this trying time, man, that we have to stay encouraged. We have to lean on each other, and, like we talk about a lot, there's a lot of people out here that's dealing with mental health and going through things like, a lot of people don't understand that at points I had my days, but at the same time, I had to lean on my people that I talk to get motivated, stay encouraged, to just stay energized doing this thing, because we're going to get through it, but it's a struggle and it's tough right now, but we have to stay positive through the whole thing.
Yeah, that's great. You know, and I know that you have a message to the Bridgeport family because you're always in contact with your young people. Give me an idea of what kind of feedback you're getting from the young people that you're in contact with on a regular basis.
It's shocking, but it's a lot of them missing school right now.
Wow.
Yeah, they missing school. It's weird because you hear them, I'm ready to get out, I'm ready to get out. But now that they out of school, it's kids that, want to be back in school. Because I do initial work where I hand out computers to the kids at school. I'll be going there this afternoon, as well as I'm part of the food distribution kids. So, I get to see someone, weekly when they come pick up the food or the computers for them to use. But I do talk to a lot of them, whether it's through social media or Zoom chats that I have with my athletes, or just picking up the phone and calling kids, and then they got me on the thing where I'm reaching out to our kids in our school about maintaining your schoolwork. So I'm getting to reach and talk to a lot of them. And a lot of them is just to hear that friendly voice, hey, Coach Marshall, how you doing?
Right.
And it's funny being the security in the school. I get on kids about their hoods a lot. Hey, take your hoods off, pull your pants. So I had a kid tell me one day, say, Coach, can you tell me to take my hood off one time? So I
mean,
did.
That right there speaks to, especially in small, close-knit communities like yours with Saginaw Bridgeport, how important the school is, the structure is, and the kid just saying, tell me to take my hood off one more time,
Yeah, that was funny, man. And it was crazy because he one of the kids that I'm always on to every day. Get that hood off, get that hood off.
Well,
and he wanted to say that.
Structure is important. I mean, that structure and that discipline, as much as they may bemoan it when they're in your face or say all this stuff, that's what they crave for because they know you're there for them, man. That's a great testament to what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
So how do you kind of keep people focused during this non-athletic time? Let's talk about the impact sports has had. What did that do for you? I hate to pull up old wounds. Where were you guys at in the season when everything shut down? I mean, and how was it dealing with that?
Man, I'm going to be honest. First off, for me, it hurt. Just that's being my life every day for the past 5 years, especially doing basketball and football. So it was really no breaks for me. So I had to sit back and, find myself right and get myself back on point before I could reach out to these guys and say, hey, man, look, it's a battle. We're going to get through this. But I guess the biggest thing was, man, in time, I healed over it. I got over it a little bit, especially after all the awards came out, and we seen what happened there. 'Cause we were in the district championship as well. We're going to take on Frankenmuth again, district championship. And personally, I thought this was going to be our year to make our way down to East Lansing, you know, and we were riding under that radar and we were rolling. But a lot of the kids, you know, it really hurt them, especially some of my seniors, you know, that had plans for trying to go to bigger schools for college and everything. So to get them to see, hey, maybe we're going to have to go this route now, you know, because this didn't happen. So, you know, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but unfortunately been blessed to have 7 of the 9 signed with schools since we've been going through this pandemic.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
noteworthy. You
like
know,
two.
and I want to go back to something you said about the reality of you saying that you had to kind of do some self-reflection first. And I think that's very transparent of you and very honest, because sometimes as leaders, we jump into something before we step back and assess it for ourselves to see where we are with our mental health. And I think that's really powerful, because you probably didn't need to be running into it blind, you know, and not really have their emotions. You know, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yep. It took my wife to address it with me because she was like my attitude, my mode, you know, and I felt myself in that depression because basketball, I had indulged myself in the basketball the past 5 months. So that's all I knew besides my family. But it gave me time to sit down, reflect, you know, and a lot of things I found out, man, I've been missing this. And a lot of it was just little was sitting at home with the wife or the kids and the grandkids, just enjoying things because I was always at school.
I saw your little TikTok videos. You was getting it going.
And that's part of my treatment, helping me out, man, and making people laugh and to get people and say, man, your TikTok videos keep me going, man. Coach, keep it up. You know, so hey, I've been trying to stay entertained some kind of way.
Well, Coach, I think what you really do is you show your strength. I mean, beyond your physical strength as being a great presence. When I see you do those type of things and talk like that, and I watch your timeline, you know, what people try to say is a weakness, you show as a strength because you become vulnerable. You say, hey, this is where I'm at. And I think when people look at you as such a strong figure, saying that, it only inspires them to really gather themselves. You know, is it fair to say that?
Oh yeah, and I think that's big because as first off, for African American man, you know, a lot of people see us and they like, okay, you know, especially like me, I grew my hair out during this
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
which caught a lot of people by surprise.
And for
But
people who thought you couldn't grow no hair too, right?
exactly, you know, I mean, we got a little spot losing there, but hey, I'm gonna be 50 years old. I said, what the heck? Let me try it again. And but once football get going, it's off because I'm out in
Right.
that sun.
Right.
But it was just those little things that helped me out as a man, you know, like you said before. Because if I couldn't address my own feelings, how could I go help somebody else? You know, and I always talk to one of my brothers and I always say, man, for a guy that encouraged so many people, where do I go when I need that encouragement? And so that's where my reflections really set back and I had to sit down and get myself focused on before I can go out and help others during this time.
You know, Coach, I can appreciate that. You know, it reminds me of Royce the 5'9". He has a song called Check on Your Strong Friend. It's like the person who everyone leans on needs that. And I think you saying that goes so far because of the respect you have in your community and how people look upon you. So as it relates to your athletes and the non-athletes in the greater Saginaw community, let's just say Michigan as a whole, because my hope is that, you know, your recognition will get a lot of attention to this. You know, what kind of advice can you give to everyone with what we're going through, how we can best deal with it, and how we can kind of keep ourselves together to come out on the other side, you know, better for it?
Well, the biggest thing is do what they're asking us to do. Stay home. Let's not just go hang out at places like I get guys in the chats. Hey, let's go meet up and go get some work out in 707. No, no, no. Go do your own thing in your backyard, fellas. Don't get together so we can slow this process down of people being sick, you know, especially with the numbers elevating here in Michigan. You know, we want life back normal and let's follow the rules, y'all. So let's stay home. Let's pray through it. Let's be honest. We have to pray through it because we all need that. But at the same time, just follow the rules. And in time that, hey, life won't be the same as it used to be, but we will get back to some kind of normalcy later.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And what I'm recognizing in this is because COVID-19, unfortunately, is such a silent killer. You know, it's not like you can see it walking up on you. It's not like you can smell it. It's not like you can hear it. So I think the self-discipline is really important. I know you're a military man, myself as well, is like to be able to be disciplined and be able to just follow the rules. And I think there's also this part about people wanting to have this opportunity to protest, not necessarily the issue of the stay-at-home order, but just to kind of go against the system, just to kind of say, you're not going to tell me what to do. I mean, I just think that that's difficult that people are using this as a chance to exercise their own personal protest when it can hurt everybody.
Yeah, I seen that too, and I had a lot of mixed views on that, and I thought it was wrong, in so many ways. But that part of the politics is like over my head. But at the same time, you and I know we couldn't got together and grouped up like that and did those things. It would have been a whole different outcome.
I mean, since we're talking about a mental health moment, there's a new issue happening. There was a horrible incident in Georgia, and I just want to put this out there. I mean, you kind of segue when you talk about, you see, people, predominantly non-people of color, protesting at the Capitol. But then you hear about a young man in Georgia who was just shot down, and that's terrible. And the only reason I bring it up, man, is because, again, we're talking about mental health. I'm going to be on a call later on with a great group of people it's called Streets Are Talking. It's based out of Chicago, but it's a great group of people from around the country. We're talking. And I think it's very important, especially for African Americans and minority in this country, to really be able to, most importantly, manage your mental health when we start seeing all these issues. Because when you see a horrible thing on TV and it starts triggering you and all this kind of stuff, not to say that we can't do anything about it, but first and foremost, you got to make sure that you don't become overwhelmed, which impacts your anxiety, your depression, your immune system, make you more susceptible to getting sick and depressed and all those things. So what can you say about just really being able to manage all the madness that we see beyond just COVID-19?
One of the things that I do personally is eliminate a lot of the TV distractions. As they call it now, the fake news. Because you see so much negative. I think last night was the first night I was just happened to be up, and I watched the local news for the first time in months here.
Really?
Right here in Saginaw. It's just because it's been so depressing and so negative, I try not to watch it. But I watched it last night, and like you said, that situation, I didn't even see it on the news last night. It happened back in February. So it does bring back old memories of the Trayvon Martins and all the other folks that lost their life to senseless crime. And you had to, one as a coach and a father, I worry about our youth. I have a couple of young men now that I'm constantly daily reaching out to them because they're heavy on my mind. And just because I know that they can go down that road at a split second.
Right.
So I'm constantly, like one I text this morning, just like, hey man, you had a good night's sleep. He texts back, yeah, coach, you funny. I said, no, I'm just worried about you, man. He's like, coach, I'm doing good, because he had a lot of trauma in his life lately. So I'm just trying to stay positive with him and keep giving him encouragement and pouring into him. So I guess the biggest thing is just that, oh man, try to stay away from it. You have to read it because you're going to see it, especially with the social media, but cipher through things and like you said, do your due diligence and read it before you just go out and get opinions about things. Because it is a lot of this stuff, man, can wear on your mind if you allow it to.
Absolutely. Coach, you make an excellent point about the media, because whether it's media, social media, I think sometimes people assume because we have access to it, we have to take it all in. But what your suggestion, I totally agree, is that you filter that and you recognize, look, man, enough is enough. Let me turn the water hose off for a minute, because you can become overwhelmed. And then it'll sit on your subconscious and you'll wonder why you're feeling a certain way. And most of us, what do? The first thing we do when we get up in the morning, we grab our phone and we start surfing through. And now we're being reactionary to everything that's happening as opposed to being proactive. And the last thing I'll say about that too is sometimes I feel we think that we have to feel really bad about something to show how much we care. We think that we have to really get down and depressed to prove how much we care. And sometimes I think it's okay to say, you know what, that's a horrible thing, but I can't let that really get into my psyche right now. That's a horrible thing. I can't let that really embody me. And it doesn't mean you don't care. It's meaning that I'm trying to keep my mental health in order so not to be overwhelmed. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's big time. Like I said, I go through it. I'm a vet, been to, war and everything. So, we get the PTSD things. everything. Like everybody asks me, and it's ironic we talking about this because yesterday I had a lady talk to me at the school about, well, being a veteran and, you know, served through war, how do you deal with the things that ex-military guys deal with? And I tell them, you gotta understand, it's called tunnel vision, but it's also what you said earlier, self-discipline. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's things we allow to come in our psyche to mess with us, and it's some things not. Like I choose to use sports and youth as my way of, you know, going through and battling that. You know, and to me personally, I think that's my getaway, my treatment, and it helps me. You know, for some it might not do that, but with me, that's the way I deal with a lot of things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, and it's not that we're trying to just talk about all the tragedies, but I think we're in a good position to address it. And you make excellent points, Coach. It's like I think we also have to be ready for post COVID-19, meaning how are we going to be when we get out? Because we're not going to be the same. I'm not even talking about the physical movements. I'm like, that's like when your body is in a cast and the
Mm-hmm.
cast comes off, it's not strong, it's not ready to go. And we all are kind of like in a physical cast and a mental cast. So what do you think about post COVID-19 when we do get the all clear and we get ready to get back out and start associating with each other?
Taking small steps daily. You know, I mean, the walking up, the bro hugs and the all
Oh,
the gapping.
I
You know,
know.
I'm gonna be back to the head
Yeah,
knowledge.
yeah.
How you doing? And it's just
Uh-huh.
a way until, you know, we can gradually get back to things being normal. But you have to be safe. You know, like I'm vested in masks right now. Actually, I have some people making a Bearcat mask for my players and everything.
That's
You
dope.
know, so we can still wear those. You know, because you have to be safe and you have to be. You know, I got 4 grandbabies, man. I want to see grow to be beautiful
Yeah,
bride day, and I want to be around, and I want them around. So I'm gonna
yeah.
take the right steps, but it's gonna be slow and steady.
Yeah, how do you think it's going to be with that close knit community you have and that beautiful gymnasium you have? You have one of the best gyms I've been in, man. You guys really represent with that. How do you think it's going to be when it's time to open things back up and you have such a close knit community and you're going to try to manage that? I mean, I don't know if you even have an answer, but what do you think?
Man, it's going to be tough because especially with the things that they're doing right now. Actually, this month, they're putting a new gym floor in for us. This
You getting a
month,
new floor?
new floor, yeah.
I thought that floor was new when I saw it this season, man. Gee
It's just
whiz.
they, you know, a good waxing on it, but we're getting a brand new floor in. So they're doing positive things on that note, but at the same time, talking with the AD, because me and him talk daily, and just talking with him, and it's like we talked about, hey, how are we gonna do this with first off with football coming up? How are we gonna, you know, manage? And it's still in the air right now.
Yeah,
We're watching what they're doing on the NCAA level, and then what the state is, you know, going to put in place, and we're going to have to manage it. But like I said, I don't think it will be the same, no matter what we do. You
yeah.
know, there's games with no fans, which going to be weird. But if that's the best way to keep people safe, you know, I mean, I advocated before that for the district playoffs when we were going to play the championship because I wanted that game so bad.
Yeah, you said we just do it without the fans.
Yeah, but they were going to go do it, and then you know we got the shutdown call, so
Right.
then everyone went out. But I mean, it's going to be different, and good thing that we made an investment in the camera system in the gym. So schools from all over the United States have been calling because they've been watching our games through the high school federation
Oh,
online thing, where it's like you pay $10 a month and you
uh-huh.
can watch all the high school games as long as you got those cameras.
Really?
And yep, and we invested in football and basketball stadium, so we have them in there. So that's another way of broadcasting games as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good to know, man. You're doing a great thing. I'm sitting here with Coach Kevin Marshall of Saginaw Bridgeport, the Bearcat family, a great coach, football, basketball, great pillar in this community. Coach, before we go, can you just give a general message to your community or anyone who may be in earshot because really respect you and what you're doing and what positive things can you leave us with?
The biggest thing I want to say to the Bridgeport and Saginaw community is people stay safe. Remember, we still have life to live, but at the same time, we want to protect our lives as well as our young ones. So stay safe, you know, do the right things, and you know, just be patient. It's gonna come through.
Coach, I appreciate you, and I know the time is going to come when we'll be back out there. And I know you're going to be holding things down. I just look forward to getting the opportunity to get up there and support you what you're doing. I just appreciate you all the way through.
Man, I appreciate it, my brother, for having me this morning, and I love these interviews. I've been watching them every day, so I appreciate it.
Oh, good, good. Well, I'm glad we got you, okay? Well, we'll do another one when we get to all clear, when we can sit on that new floor. How about that?
Man, I'm all there.
All right.
Got you.
Appreciate it. Coach
Yeah.
Kevin Marshall, thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right. See you later.
All right, take